So everybody, Apple has officially sent out their invites for their September 9th event, and they're calling it Glowtime. Let's talk about it. Now, to get some of the specifics out of the way, September 9th is when this new Glowtime event will be happening, and it starts at 10 a.m. Pacific time or 1 p.m. Eastern time, and I will link an article down below from 9 to 5 explaining all the timing and scheduling of the actual event. But I quickly want to talk about the actual invite itself because Apple likes to put some Easter eggs in there, or at least give a hint as to what to expect based on some of the artwork on the invite, and this one is pretty self-explanatory and one of the more obvious ones. And this is going to be a big focus on Apple Intelligence and Siri, because you can see that with the glow animation itself, it's giving that pulsating type of Siri interface and animation that we're now getting with 18.1 on the beta side. And the slogan Apple went with is called Glowtime, or It's Glowtime, which is a play on words for It's Showtime, which means Apple probably has a lot of stuff that they're going to talk about in terms of what the expectation is with not only the iPhones, but also iOS specifically. Now, I do quickly want to mention what we expect about the iPhone 16 lineup in general. I do have a full video kind of encompassing everything, which I'll link down below as well. But of course, we're going to get the new iPhone 16 lineup of iPhones. And the first ones are going to be the iPhone 16 and the 16 Plus. Unfortunately, we're going to go on another year without a 16 mini. But what to expect out of here is going to be an A18 chip with 8 gigs of RAM, which will give us that Apple Intelligence support. We're also going to be getting an action button, which was a feature that was only on the 15 Pro and Pro Max exclusively, and now that's coming down to the iPhone 16 lineup. We're also going to get a capture button for controlling the camera app, which is something that's pretty interesting. On the rear of the iPhone itself, we're also going to get a different arrangement for the camera bump. So we're going to go back to that vertical orientation, which is supposed to help out with spatial video recording for those people that want to be able to record in spatial video and then be able to view it in their Vision Pro. And then in terms of colorway, we should be getting a blue, green, pink, white, and a black colorway. Now these colors should be a lot more prominent and a lot more saturated compared to years past, whereas normally with the previous iPhones, those colors that we've been getting have been very, very light in terms of its hue and its saturation. It's almost like another white color. Depending on when you hit it with the light, then it turns into like a bluish hue or a greenish hue or a pinkish hue. But for the most part, they are very subtle. This year, they should be a little bit more prominent, like I mentioned. And then we have the 16 Pro and the 16 Pro Max. Now this one is going to have the new A18 Pro chip. It's going to actually feature a new larger display for both sizes. So instead of the 6.1, it'll be 6.3 inches, and then instead of 6.7, it's going to move up to 6.9 inches. We will be holding onto some of the same colors, so we're going to have a black titanium, the natural titanium, the white titanium, but the new one is going to be this bronze titanium. And from some of the pictures and leaks that we've seen, it looks kind of like a coppery color. I don't know if I'm going to be gravitating towards that color per se, a little bit more on the brown side than what I would like, but let's see exactly how Apple shows it off and what kind of hues and tints we get with this new brown colorway. We're also going to be getting that same capture button for controlling the actual iPhone camera, because again, these iPhones are getting more and more to become cameras first and phone second, but again, that's kind of the route that we're going with the iPhone series. And then lastly, the 5x telephoto lens will be coming down to the 16 Pro. Whereas with the 15 Pro and the 15 Pro Max, you only got the 3x telephoto lens, and the Pro Max got that 5x telephoto lens. So we're going to have a situation where the camera sensors are going to be exactly the same on the Pro and the Pro Max on the 16 lineup, versus on the 15 Pro and Pro Max there was a little bit of differentiation. So Apple should be spending a good amount of time on Apple Intelligence, but just be fair warned of two things. First and foremost, the new iPhones will be equipped with iOS 18.0, which will not have Apple Intelligence at all, regardless of which iPhone you actually get. So do keep that in mind, that 18.1 will be the first time that we see Apple Intelligence on these iPhones, and that probably won't come out until the late October timeframe, but definitely stay subscribed to follow along to find out exactly when that does happen. And then finally, and again, unfortunately, if you are rocking a 15 Plus, a 15 or older iPhone, you will not be getting any of the new Apple Intelligence features. Apple is saying it's because of the chipset and the amount of RAM that's needed and the actual particulars when it comes to running that type of operating system and that type of software and functionality. So unfortunately, if you just purchased a 15 Plus last year, you will not be able to get it. Maybe Apple gives us some sort of feature set that kind of corresponds to that, or maybe they gave us the animation. But as of right now, even if you're going to be running 18.1 on a 15 Plus, you'll still have the same exact old Siri from both a function and an animation standpoint. And some final things to kind of take into account is that Apple should be announcing their brand new Apple Watch Series 10, which might be coming in two new sizes, being 45mm and then 49mm in sizes for the normal watch. As we know, the Apple Watch Ultra already comes in 49mm. We should also be getting a new Apple Watch Ultra 3, which for the most part should remain the same, very similar to the Ultra 2 upgrade, maybe some better screen brightness and maybe a little bit of a performance boost, but for the most part it might remain identical, with maybe a surprise of getting a black version of it, which I would absolutely love. And then of course from a software standpoint, we will be getting iOS 18, iPadOS 18, tvOS 18, watchOS 11, visionOS 2, as well as macOS 15 Sequoia to round off the entire announcement. So I'm very excited to see exactly how Apple kind of goes about presenting everything, what the new features are going to be, how they're going to market it, what new words are going to come up with to kind of make it sound even cooler than it actually is. Leave some comments down below about what you think. Are you excited for this event? Are you looking forward to getting the new iPhone 16 lineup of phones? Which one are you going to go with, or are you going to be holding back because maybe you already have an iPhone 15 Pro and that's all that you really need at this point? But that'll do it, everybody. If you made it to the end of this video, leave a little dolphin in the comments down below so I know you made it to the end. And if you guys want to watch more videos like this one, click on one of these right here. And until next time, I'm Fernando. I'm out of here, everybody. Peace. We got some awesome videos coming around the corner, so definitely subscribe and stay tuned, everybody.